we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Denise Tan, and in tonight's Game Plan, we'll hear from the Adamson Soaring Falcons as they talk about the preparations for the upcoming UAAP Season 85.
We'll also talk about the pride of Santa Rosa after they get a taste of victory in the Spikers Turf Open Conference. And we'll go through some interesting stories from the courtside during the recently concluded PBA Philippine Cup Finals. Anong chika doon? Buckle up, sports fans! Let's get in the game! We're 3 weeks away from the opening of the 85th season of the UAAP, and like all the other schools, the Adamson Soaring Falcons are working double time, maybe even triple time, to get ready for the upcoming season. Joining us to talk more about their preparations is Cedric Manzano, AP Manlapas, Jerome Lastimosa, and head coach Nash Racela. Gentlemen, welcome to the game. Thank you very much for taking the time out. Coach Nash, I want to start off with you kasi I feel like I haven't talked to you in a very long time and I don't like that. Coach Nash, kumusta naman yung preparations niyo so far, the preseason, and of course, how you feel that your team's progressing as we are getting closer to yung opening day?
Well, hello, Pao. Hello, Denise. Thank you for having us. Preparation has been very good, mainly because we are able to play a lot of games now pre-season. So that's, I think, the difference between this year and last season's preparation. So yeah, I think we're getting better.
I'm talking about getting better, Coach. I also want to talk about what happened in the last season. Nakita naman natin, Adamson, especially in that second round, napakaganda nung ipinakita nyo. There was an outburst and that really pushed you to get into the Final Four. Just looking back, what were the things that you saw there that maybe you can bring into this upcoming season as well?
Yeah, Denise, of course, a lot of good things, especially in that second round of last season. But again, moving forward, we just want that our team won't have to wait for the second round before we start doing things correctly. So exactly the reason why we've been playing in a lot of preseason games to really prepare us, not just for the second round, but syempre, yung umpisa pa lang, yung first round.
AP, can you give us a bit of a player's point of view tungkol sa mga preparations nyo? Kasi ang daming games, like what Coach Nash mentioned. I guess, how prepared are you sa palagay mo at yung team ninyo going into the next season, considering yung amount of games na nalaro ninyo?
Super, parang sa lahat po talaga ng bagay, piniprepare kami ni na Coach Nash. Mapa-mental man yan, physical, parang piniprepare po talaga na kami kasi malapit na nga yung season, tsaka marami po kaming games ngayong pre-season, lalo na yung mga sa Davao games po namin, sobrang nakatulong po sa experience namin yun kasi almost all of the teams po sa Davao parang ex-pro sila, kaya parang malaking tulong po sa experience namin yun as a player.
Jerome, I want to go to you next. Alam mo, nung last season, ang ganda ng pinakita mo, averaging close to 15 points per game. And you have made that decision na bumalik at maglaro in your final year. Just talk about how that all went down para sa'yo.
Lahat yun, siguro pinagtatrabahuan talaga namin yan. And I think lahat yun is galing sa sistema nila, coaches namin. And then, ano din namin yan game plan din namin yan namin sa team namin. So, siguro yung laro ko last year, siguro this coming season, mas hihigitan ko pa.
Cedric, yung team ninyo ngayon, syempre, as mentioned a while ago, ang rami yung nakalaban na ex-pro sa Davao at yung preparations nyo, of course, sa Phil Oil na umabot kayo sa semifinals. Anong masasabi mo sa samahan ninyo as a team going into the tournament, going to the UAP? Kasi syempre, siguro kung hindi mabagal yung simulan ninyo, it could have been a different story para sa Adamson.
Mas napabuti yung samahan namin yung simula nung sa Davao kasi parang yung mga hindi close talaga, parang nilalagay sa isang kwarto para maging close talaga yung mga di mo nakakausap. Doon nagsisimula yung team namin sa simula ng Davao. Hanggang UAAP.
Coach Nash, yung mga players mo, they've been referencing Davao a lot. Parang the experience there, napaka-unique for them, or at least that's how it sounds like. Could you tell us how the team has grown through that tournament in Davao in particular, especially with the knowledge na yung mga nakatapat nila, mga ex-pros nga?
Yeah. Well, we were very fortunate to be invited in the Davao tournament. I'm very thankful to new organizers of Davao. And then the following weekend, we were able to play in Surigao. Got invited to play in an exhibition match. So yun yung mga bagay na nakatulong sa amin in our preparation. Siguro not just playing games, but more so yung sabi nga nila experience just being together. Sabi nga kanina ni Cedric, we rotated yung mga roommates because we've noticed some guys not really talking much to other guys. So medyo pinilit namin sila to spend time with the other guys. So I think mukha naman nakatulong.
So may favorite roommates ba kayo, guys? O may least favorite roommates ba kayo na ayaw nyo talagang kasama?
Pwede ba sagutin yun?
Sige, wag na lang muna, Denise. Okay, let's move us on from this.
Okay, Coach, I want to go back to you. Your players talked about their experience in Davao. You talked about that connection that you're trying to build and also the experience that you had last season. Now, moving forward, coming into the next one, ano yung mga expectations na nilatag mo para sa buong team?
Well, if you look at the previous season kasi, sabi nga, a lot of people observe that medyo late kami nakapag-pick up, in terms of our performance. And maybe that's because of, again, missing a lot of games pre-season. And I think this year, going through this season, nakarami na ng laro ito mga to. Feeling ko nga medyo nasusobrahan na eh. But again, at the end of the day, it just helps us to get better, and that's the main idea why we keep on playing games. Not if you compare it to siguro other universities in preparation, it's not really at par with a lot of their preparations. But kami, we'll just take whatever games we could take. So kaya lahat ng imbitasyon nga sa probinsya, kung pwedeng pagbigyan talaga namin because we know that it helps us grow as a team.
Coach, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for coming over. Also, guys, AP, Jerome, Cedric, maraming salamat din. Good luck sa upcoming yung season, and we're excited to see how far you can go and the upsets you can pull off. Especially, is what Coach said a while ago, na medyo the preparations there are not as on par as the others, but you never know what happens when the whistle starts and the ball's tipped. Maraming salamat, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now, after the break, we'll find out what went right for the Santa Rosa City Lions as they get their first win in the Spikers turf. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. still watching the game. The wait proved to be worth it for the Santa Rosa City Lions as they finally break into the winning column. Let's get to know more about this up-and-coming squad. We have with us assistant coach Carlos Cantor, Jade Alex Disquitado, Gabby, and Chris Hernandez. So good evening, gentlemen, and welcome to the game. Kamusta kayong lahat? How are you guys doing?
Okay lang po.
Okay, let's start it off with Coach, ikaw na lang. Kasi I know this is probably the youngest squad, the youngest team that we have on Spikers Turf right now. Ano yung average age ulit nila?
Bali, ano po talaga yan, 17 years old and below. So, si Jade po ay nagkaka-birthday lang this coming last month po. Kaya medyo yung iba po sa kanila ay nag-18 na po.
Okay.
No,
17 below lang po.
I actually wanted to follow that up with that kind of squad. Alam mo naman yung level na meron sa Spikers Turf. Gaano ka, let's say for a lack of a better term, challenging to have such a young squad in a semi-pro level of competition?
So, expected po talaga namin na medyo malakas po talaga yung kalaban. Hindi po yung inaabangan namin sa susunod namin na liga na which is ito nga pong ASEAN School Games po. So, kumbaga, exposure po talaga habol namin. Tsaka yung kumbaga paano sila magmamature sa ganung level.
For those who don't know, itong si Jade, hindi mo to first time na PNBF competition O, in fact, medyo veterano ka amongst the children. Alright? Pero, so because of that, medyo leader ka na Leader ka na sa grupo mo How do you lead yung grupo nyo knowing that level of competition na kailangan na lang i-reach?
Siguro po sinashare ko din po yung mga experience ko pag dating sa kanila para pag sa dating sa liga na alam nila yung gagawin nila.
Okay, I wanna ask Gabby.
The youngest one?
The youngest one, 16, right?
16. Kala ko nga 15 Pero mukhang 14.
Unang-una, ano yung binubulong mo kay Jade kanina? Sumisimple ka ha, kala mo, hindi kita nakita. But, Gabby, I wanted to ask you, kasi at a young age of 16, syempre nagko-compete ka na nga, di ba, sa alongside players that you've only seen on TV in the past. Ano yung pakiramdam that you're now in this league and at the same time, nakuha niyo pa yung panalo niyo in the last game?
Siyempre, una po ay masaya po kami. Tapos siyempre, nagpasalamat po kami kay Lord na nakagain kami ng experience and mag-gain pa kasi madami pa kami makakalaban na malalakas na players.
Chris, hindi ba kayo na starstruck sa simula? Kasi siyempre yung unang game nyo, signal. Tapos yung mga katapat yung mga national team players talaga. Ano yung feeling nun, yung first few sets ninyo, tapos yung progression nyo after yung game na yun sa signal?
Naano lang naman po kami, parang nanibago kasi first game nga po namin sa ganung league. Siguro, yun nga po,
Kaya mo yan. Sabi nga ni Jade, kaya mo yan. Oo.
Yun nga po, tinaray po namin gawin yung best po namin.
Of course, it is such a great opportunity para sa inyong lahat na makapaglaro nga, especially with a young roster. Sa tingin nyo, ano yung gusto nyong patunayan sa opportunity to? Umpisa natin kay Gabby ulit.
Ang gusto ko lang patunayan na hindi porket mga bata kami, parang mamalitin nyo kami kasi mga bata nga lang po kami. Siguro kaya namin patunayan na kaya namin makapagsabayan sa matatandang players po, mga veteranong players po.
Ikaw, Chris?
Yun nga po, lalaban po kami. Wala pong idol sa loob po ng court.
Gusto ko, kanina tahimik. Hindi pa rin sasabihin Oo. Pero Jade, siyempre, yung pinapakita mo ngayon, ibang klase talaga. People are scouting you. Kahapon, actually, nakusap namin si Coach Babes and then sabi niya na parang Mark Espejo daw yung laro mo Kapag narinig mo yun, napangiti siya kapag narinig mo yun, like, ano yung feeling mo? At syempre, yan ba yung gusto mo? Na parang Mark Espejo level yung laro mo in the future?
Kinilig ka ba? Unang-una.
Slight, nakita ko.
Ngumiti Okay, sige, pwede mo na siya sagutin.
Siguro, gusto ko makita yung sarili ko talaga na sa future. Wala pong idol ko po sarili ko.
Ayan.
Wow.
Hindi, ang gusto niya, maging Jade Disquitado.
Yan,
Diba?
yan yung gusto.
Not
Oo.
play like anybody else. Pero, Coach, speaking of playing again, yung next game nyo, you have to focus on NU Santa Elena. Ano yung talagang, what are you focusing on? Not just technically speaking, pero meron ka pa bang gustong i-improve? Let's say, sa samahan and all that.
Sa sama naman po, wala nang problema kasi naka-in-house naman po sila. Wala nang po kami masasabi doon. Siguro focus na lang po kami doon sa... Kasi doon sa last time po na kalaban namin Ateneo, siyempre pinaractice pa rin po namin kung ano yung lapses namin. Which is napanood din po namin yung kalaban nila na itong NU po. So, siguro nasa kanila po ng decision kung ano po. No, manalo, matalo.
Of course, that matchup is going to be on Saturday sa Spikers Turf. You can catch that on One Sports and on One Sports Plus. Again, that will be against NU Santa Elena. It's going to be interesting kasi Santa Elena is a young team pero mas bata to.
Yes.
Mas bata yung grupo na to. So, we're going to have a lot of fun watching that. Coach, kanina may gusto mong batiin.
Opo, binabati ko po si Ma'am Marivic Tolito, tsaka si Cesar Abalon, Defense Central, tsaka sa aming Mayor Arlene Arcilla sa suporta sa mga bata. And sa Team Margie po namin, si Sir Mario Santua. At sa mga parents po nila, sa mga naniniwala po, ipag-train nyo lang po yung mga bata. Yan po, tsaka kay Coach Edo.
Guys, maraming salamat. Good luck sa laro ninyo on Saturday and of course for the rest of the tournament. At sa ASEAN School Games as well. Maraming salamat. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
So we're now going to shift to the hard court because after the break, we hear some courtside stories from the PBA Philippine Cup Finals. Stay tuned. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. The dust may have settled on the PBA Philippine Cup, but we're still uncovering stories from the epic 7-game series between the San Miguel Beermen and the TNT Tropang Giga. This time, we're getting them straight from the courtside with my partner, Denise Tan, who just so happens to be here. We might as well talk about her experience, of course. Pero Denise, the first thing that came into my mind when you're talking about yung mga story mo from the courtside is si Chris Ross, because you had the chance to interview him. He had that emotional interview. And I could only imagine how you felt seeing him a bit sad after the championship.
I was really surprised, to be perfectly honest with you. When I went up to Chris, I congratulated him. Immediate thought was, give him a fist bump, give him a high five and all that. But I immediately felt also there was just a lot of emotions. And a lot of that is coming from the sad passing of his father na alam naman natin. He spent, I think, 3 months in the States because of that. And just a few days ago, he shared with some of our media friends that he was seriously contemplating calling Boss Al.
Yeah.
And asking him or telling him that he
wanted to retire.
But then he realized, no, that's not what he wanted. That's not what his dad wanted. And so he came back, put everything that he wanted or everything that he had into this whole season. Kaya punong-puno siya ng emotions. He said that he felt his dad's presence while he was playing on the court. Now, he missed 8 games at the start of the conference, pero kitang-kita mo naman the way that he ended that Game 7.
Yeah.
4 3-pointers all in the fourth.
Nagpa-night-night nga siya eh. And
he sent them to sleep.
Sent them to sleep. And of course, moving on to another San Miguel Beerman who you've covered for years and years, itong si Vic Manuel. Even when he wasn't part of San Miguel, even when San Miguel was the cause of his nightmares, instead now it's the dream come true para kay Vic Manuel. Just how special was it for Vic? Alright, and at least for you also in particular, seeing Vic finally win a championship after so much heartbreak at the hands of the franchise.
I'm so happy for Vic kasi nung start pa lang ng finals, he was telling me talaga na, I feel like this would be my year. He is 0 of 5 in a finals appearance. Yung mga unang appearances sa finals, they were going up against San Miguel, and that was in the Philippine Cup. So, alam na lang medyo dehado sila. The following years, he was still with Alaska at that time, but at the same time, he was injured. There was a time that he had a calf sprain. There was a time also they had a slip disc. Pero nung na-trade daw siya sa San Miguel, sabi niya, this is the year that I'm really gonna take care of my body 200% and I'm gonna make sure that I will be ready, I will be of value at makukuha na yung kampyonato. And true enough, look at Vic finally getting that elusive championship since he entered the PBA in 2012. And so, I think whatever team you're rooting for, you're gonna be happy for him.
Yeah, of course, si Vic Manuel, one of the favorite stories from the players there. And of course, you go to the other side and one guy that became another crowd favorite again, itong si Jayson Castro. We all know that they did lose Game 7, pero grabe yung pinakita niya, especially in the third quarter. You had an insight on yung mga pre-game routine niya after Game 6.
Actually, during Game 6,
6.
Jayson was telling me that when he was watching how San Miguel was playing in the first quarter of Game 6, sabi niya, I need to be better, I need to play. So what he did for the next 48 hours was set his alarm every 4 hours to complete the strengthening routine. He had cold packs, he had hot packs. Sabi niya, kahit madaling araw, walang palya yan. Kahit isang mata lang ang kaya kong buksan, I will do it because he knows that's the key for him to get back. And true enough, Game 7, he drew first blood and got the first 2 points for TNT. And that's just the fighter in Jayson Castro, really.
And remember, Jayson Castro outscored San Miguel in the third quarter, 19-18. Grabe talaga. Now, of course, moving on to another person who also has to maintain his body. Kenny Williams, 41 years of age, and still able to perform. We've seen him retire. We've seen him come back and win a championship again. I mean, what more do we have to say about this guy?
It's funny because when I was talking to Kelly, and you know this story, when he got that call from Coach Chot, he was lounging around, eating chips, eating junk, and that's so...
Yung brand, he even said it.
Diba? But it's so unlike Kelly. But when immediately after getting that call, it's like he flipped the switch, he turned it on again, and went back to taking care of his body. Now, he was telling me that, all that people could really talk about was the fact that he's 40 years old. But Kelly said, it's never going to be a question of age, but it's a question of desire. He was part of that all-defensive team last season. And that is because he has taken care of his body, his mind, and everything in between because he is committed. Nung nakuha niya yung tawag na yon, he is all in.
From one of the oldest ones to go to one of the younger ones. Itong si Simon Enciso, he had a great game in game number 6. It felt like he could not miss at one point, and there is a backstory to that if I'm not mistaken.
I got this story from Coach Leo Austria. Sabi niya sa akin, during practice daw, medyo they were kind of teasing him, but good fun lang. Pero yung pag-aalaska daw sa kanya is parang sinasabi, kailangan ba nating bitbitin yung ring dito sa gym and install it in Araneta just so you can continuously sink your shots? Now, of course, they were laughing about it, but then Simon said, given the right opportunity, given the right amount of minutes, he can prove himself his worth offensively because he's always been known as this defensive guy. Pero nung nabigyan nga siya ng tsansa ni Coach Leo, he made sure that he was gonna milk that all throughout.
And Simon Enciso hit 3 after 3 after 3 on the way to a championship, his first with the San Miguel Beermen. Denise, thank you very much. I really appreciate all those stories, and I can't wait for the upcoming Commissioner's Cup, which I'm sure you're gonna be part of as well.
Yep, of course. And that's it for tonight. We're wrapping it up. Thank you for joining us. I'm Denise Tan.
Catch us on weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.